Breaking news, breaking news. The parents have lawyered up. They're refusing to cooperate with investigators. Come on in, folks. Come on in. We're talking about the case of missing 7-month-old baby Emmanuel Haro. This is his parents right here, Rebecca and Jake. Jake is on probation. Rebecca claims that this little boy was kidnapped outside a Big 5 sporting goods store a little after 7 p.m. on Thursday. The child has not been found. Yucaipa, California. That was the location. Now, the family have a home about 20 miles away. And guess what? Authorities are searching their property, according to the grandmother of the child. I want to share some new information with you. Maps of the location of where they're searching, a report about them lawyering up, and show you key details in this case as we're covering it extensively on JLR Investigates. Check it out.
Abduction last night here in Yucaipa where we live. I am here with mom and dad and the whole family where the incident happened. Channel 5 is on their way. Channel 7 is here. We just need prayers for baby. What's his name? Emmanuel, baby, 7-month-old baby Emmanuel to be found safely. Here in the parking lot at Big 5, she came here to get a mouth guard for her husband's son for football. He plays at the 7th Street Park, and she came here and the baby was questioning. He falls asleep on the car ride. She got a mouth guard here, and she was in the back of the car getting the baby.
That's the only chances they had. Huh? That's the only thing they had for
inside.
Why did they put missing? That's what they made it for me. Yeah, but you should have said that. Yeah, I did tell them that, but they...
They taking photos of like,
All right, this is Google Maps. We take you to Cabazon, California, home of prime suspects Rebecca and Jake Haro. Authorities, according to the grandmother, are searching their home looking for any traces of this 7-month-old baby named Emmanuel. As you see on the map, it is a little east of Los Angeles. We take you into the San Bernardino National Forest area, and right between there is I-10 and the mountain chains right there, and we take you to this area off of I-10, and this is the home they are searching at, Teos Road, 48885 Teos Road. Here we go. And here it is. As you saw the last clip, someone drove by. This is the home here. Look at this. Mountains in the background. And this is the home. It looks a lot. There's a limo out here, according to Google Maps. I don't know whose limo that is. That's interesting. A limo. But here you go. Here is the home here. Let's zoom in. Let's try to get in. Looks like the backyard has a bunch of barrels in the backyard, fenced up, and next door to them is nothing but, it looks like some sort of field. No home. Let's see. Looking at this home, let's see if they got neighbors across the street. Does any neighbors across the street have any Ring camera? Does anyone have any camera on here? According to Google Maps, a lot of people have Ring camera. It is a possibility because that, oh, look, right there, boom, camera, neighbors. So authorities can at least go to the neighbors across the street to see if they got unusual activity or seen maybe the parents taking out the trash, putting something in a vehicle suspiciously to validate the timeline that they gave, saying that the boy was kidnapped. miles away outside a big 5 parking lot. So neighbors across the street definitely have surveillance. You can see that there. Whoa, okay. All right. Let's keep moving here. I'm sure other homes in the neighborhood. Look at this. It's right off of I-10. Now, there's another thing I want to show you. I'm just looking down to see if any other homes have surveillance that we can see. Now, it might not work, even if we see surveillance. And if we can't see surveillance cameras, doesn't mean there ain't. Maybe they have their own surveillance cameras here. Have we considered that? This is their backyard here. So their backyard has drums. Drums and fencing. Drums and fencing. This is their house right here on the right. And on the left up here is where they claim the little boy was kidnapped out front of Big 5 Sporting Goods. It is a 26-minute drive. So in order to get there, you're going to have to go on I-10. It looks like I-10 is the most logical route. But 26 miles away for a football event? It's quite a distance. The question is, if the child went with them, actually went with them on Thursday, was the child seen en route? Could any surveillance, street cams, interstate license plate readers, anything out there detect that this child was in fact there that day or not? Happened here. So it just gives you perspective, the distance of what's going on here. We're going to stay with this case. One thing that disturbs me is if something happened to this child beforehand and they all made this all up, this kidnapping, and I think they made it all up. What I'm saying is if the child was dead or something happened to the child way before that, look at this. Mountains in the area, a lot of mountains. I mean, they could have disposed the child in the garbage, buried, mountains. Look at the mountain range, all in that area. Let's look on satellite. Look, mountains. It's all mountains. Rural area. They could have took the child up into the mountains and did something. Who knows? Or hand the child off to someone else. But no one is buying the kidnapping outside of the sporting goods store at all, not even authorities. And as it's being reported now, the grandmother saying that they're at the property searching. So let me share this clip by the local media about what's going on with the search and everything like that.
Where is baby Emmanuel? It has been over 48 hours since anyone has seen the 7-month-old who was reported missing by his mother in San Bernardino County.
And tonight, investigators saying they cannot rule out foul play in his disappearance. The boy's mother says that she was attacked Thursday in the parking lot of a Big 5 in Yucaipa and that the attacker took off with her baby.
Now, deputies say there are inconsistencies with her account of what happened. KTLA5's Sarah Welsh joins us live in San Bernardino with the latest on this story. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, Clark, good evening. Investigators say when they confronted Rebecca Haro about inconsistencies within her initial statement that she refused to continue any questioning. And tonight, the grandmother has confirmed to us that the couple is no longer cooperating with investigators and has lawyered up just hours after they made that desperate public plea for their son's safe return.
It's just a baby. Just give our son back, please.
Where is 7-month-old Emmanuel? His parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro, say someone kidnapped their baby outside this Big 5 in Yucaipa after assaulting Rebecca Haro and knocking her out cold.
I was gonna get the diaper and somebody said, "Hola," and I didn't see nothing since. I woke up right here on the floor. And I didn't see Emmanuel.
Haro says she was parked in front of the store about to change her son's diaper when someone came up behind and assaulted her. She claims she was struck in the face but wasn't able to get a look at who did it before they took off with her son. But investigators say there are inconsistencies with Haro's initial statement, and because of that, they cannot rule out foul play.
They're not going to hurt that baby. That couple were just homebodies.
The baby's grandmother is adamant the couple is innocent. She says Emmanuel is her daughter's pride and joy and that she waited years to have a baby boy of her own. The grandmother also says investigators asked her daughter to take a lie detector test, but her husband said no until they had a lawyer.
She's just going crazy, she can't handle it anymore.
She says her daughter is receiving death threats and her 2-year-old has been removed from the home. As the search for baby Emmanuel goes on 48 hours after his mother claims someone ran off with him. And we have learned tonight that the baby's father does have a criminal record, and the grandmother told us that investigators were out at the couple's home in Cabazon, searching the home with cadaver dogs and also digging up parts of the property. We tried to reach out to San Bernardino County investigators for any information on that, but they aren't taking any more questions today. Meantime, they are asking anyone with any information about this case, anyone with any information on the whereabouts of baby Emmanuel, to give them a call. And you can do it anonymously by calling 1-800-78-CRIME.
All right, folks. We'll see what happens with the search. There's a lot of citizen journalists and a lot of concerned citizens that got their eyes on these two people and are driving around seeing what's up. But at this time, this child has not been found. But luring up because of inconsistencies in her statement, that is a major red flag. Himself on felony probation after being convicted of willful child endangerment type charges. Child abuse, really. Child neglect. Red flag. Their story and the way their behavior was, as I showed you a video there of how they were acting in front of Big Five. Red flag. The bruise you see on her, red flag, because people are saying the bruise, it took days. That's not a fresh bruise. Days in the making. So what in the world happened to this little boy? I think authorities are getting to the bottom of this very quickly. We're covering every angle of this case, including news reports. KTLA, great report that they just shared, talking about the case in general. And we'll continue to monitor what's being put out there on the parents. I expect arrests soon. And when they do, we'll share the mugshots, affidavit of probable cause. Now, this guy got pulled over June of 2024 in Banning, a community outside of where they live. And he had a gun on him. He's a felon in possession of a firearm and ammunition. Now, I'm going to get the body cam footage, trying to get the body cam footage. We'll see if they give it up. They should. No reason why. I submitted a public records request, affidavits of probable cause, mug shots, everything on this guy. So we're going to dig deeply into him. She doesn't appear to have a criminal record. Apparently her brother and or her uncle, it's confusing whether who he really is, James, is serving a 50-year sentence for murder and concealing and covering up the crime scene. Similar to what's happening here when she falsely claimed the crime scene was Big Five. There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of a kidnapping. No security cameras has been caught of this little boy being taken by someone that she claims went up to her and said, "Hola," and knocked her out, only to wake up and see white and her child gone. That's a Casey Anthony, Susan Smith, Sherry Papini type of evilness going on here. I call it how it is. If you see it otherwise, share in your comments. We welcome all opinions on this channel as we're covering the case of this little boy and all the latest developments. Stay tuned. This is the go-to channel when it comes to this case. I am JLR Investigates. We'll talk soon. Hoping this baby is found safe. Hope, pray. But somebody's going to be held accountable. Maybe 2 people, maybe 3. Maybe there's a big cover-up. Considering that family seems like they've had problems with the law before. We'll see. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Stay tuned.